Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis and welcome back to my channel. E.D. Lewis Reviews back with an all-new nocturnal review and back for episode 12 of my Dracula review series. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button and the little bell down below so you'll get notifications on my latest videos, and also please leave a comment. I love to read those comments and I love to get feedback. Get on with this review, and that is Dracula, the TV show. Or as I refer to it as NBC's Dracula, and I'll show you. This is the cover for the television series. That's the outer cover. Here's the inner one, which we're getting a little bit of glare. We'll just stick to the one. You also have to deal with the Walmart sticker. And of course it says season 1 on it because I think at the time they assumed there was going to be a season 2 and it hadn't been officially canceled yet. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, the series got canceled. And this show stars Jonathan Rhys Meyers in the title role of Dracula. Let me just read, I think, a little bit about this. Golden Globe winner Jonathan Rhys Meyers stars in season 1 of Dracula, a sexy, twisted, and provocative take on Bram Stoker's classic novel. Centuries after the Order of the Dragon cursed him with immortality and murdered his wife, Dracula, Rhys Meyers, arrives in Victorian London to wreak his revenge. Posing as an American industrialist who intends to bring modern science to England, Dracula sets out to destroy the sect only to fall in love with a woman, Jessica, I'm not even sure how to pronounce her name, Degow? I'm not sure, I apologize. I'll put the spelling in somewhere. Who strongly resembles his dead wife, an obsession that threatens to thwart all his plans, which every suspenseful episode watch every suspenseful episode back to back and uninterrupted in a lavishly produced, action-packed series proving some stories will never die. I was a fan of this show and still am. I have only actually watched it all the way through once. Every time I start it, I always get interrupted or put it down and never pick it back, and then don't pick it back up, and I'm like, I need to finish watching that show all over again. So I'll just start it over again. So I've watched like the first several episodes several times over, and I've only seen the ending a couple times. I did miss some shows on the when it was airing originally, but I recovered that when I finally watched the show all the way through. Like I said, I loved this show. It was interesting. It was sexy. It was kind of grim. It aired at like 9 o'clock in the evening, right before the 10 o'clock news. So it was kind of a show that I don't think they could have showed any earlier. It definitely had some provocative scenes in it, especially between Dracula and this vampire huntress. So that's a bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you the whole thing about that. So, like it says, Dracula poses as this American industrialist, which let's back up a little bit. So the series opens with Van Helsing releasing Dracula from his hundreds of years sleep, as he's been put there by the Order of the Dragon, who cursed him to become the creature that he had become. And so he brings him back to life. Sorry, I was starting to say something else. And he brings back not only for so Dracula can get revenge. He also wants revenge on them too for something they did to him in the years past. So it's a big play of revenge. Jump forward several years later, Dracula is now under an assumed name. He is now calling himself Alexander Grayson and uses an American accent to infiltrate British society and these members of the Order of the Dragon. At this great party at his Carfax estate, we meet young Mina Murray, who is studying to become a doctor, actually under Van Helsing's tutelage. And also, we meet Jonathan Harker, who is a reporter on the make. And we meet Lucy Westerner, which is, of course, this socialite girl who is a good friend of Mina's. And of course, we meet the Order of the Dragon, who are these British. I don't know how to refer to it, but they're not very nice aristocrats. So Dracula makes a big display with the science that he's doing. He's kind of like doing something along the lines of like what Tesla was trying to do, where you pull energy out of the air. So it has many steampunk elements, especially in the opening credits to the show, which I love those graphics they did. It's very cool, and we kind of have Dracula with his like these threads or webs coming out of his fingers. It's like they're all in Dracula's web of his whole plot. So he's kind of like pulling the strings of everything, and so he's slowly making his way through the Order of the Dragon, buying up industrial coolant and all these different businesses, trying to thwart the Order of the Dragon, while also Van Helsing is working behind the scenes with him to try and make it where it's possible where he can come out in daylight, because this goes along with the whole thing about vampires not coming out in sunlight. Very Hollywood vampire. So in the midst of all this, he falls in love with Mina, who looks like, and apparently may be, the reincarnation of his wife, who was murdered by the Order of the Dragon. So the show very much is pulling stuff from the Coppola Dracula film. It's also pulling a bit from Dark Shadows. And it has a very Dark Shadows feel to it. It's very gothic. And, of course, Dracula's gothic, too. But it also is pulling a little bit from Dan Curtis's Dracula as well there. So, but all in all, I thought it was a very good show. It is very steampunk. It is very gothic. And it is very romantic and kind of action-packed. Very sexy. So another little thing about this that I wanted to mention while I was talking about it was Van Helsing is actually played by an actor who's played Dracula before. He played Dracula, I can't remember his name, but he played Dracula in the Argento's Dracula, that one I absolutely hated and I don't own anymore. He played Dracula in that. He plays a much better Van Helsing, in my opinion. Very interesting. Also, the character of Renfield is actually... He's playing... Renfield has the part of his footman, but he was an ex-lawyer who lived in the States, who Dracula saved, and there's an episode devoted to that backstory. And so I thought that was a very interesting plot. I would love to have seen where they would have went with season 2. I think it's very clear they probably would have drawn more influence from the novel for the second season than they did for this first season. There's not a whole lot of Bram Stoker's original novel in it. There are things here and there, but I think they would have probably pulled even more from the novel in the second season. So I don't know why it got canceled. I mean, I loved it, but then again, something that I love and like someone else may not, and vice versa, because we all have our different tastes in books and movies, television series, lots of things. Everybody has their own tastes and own flavors. So this one was very much mine. Anyway, I love the show, as you've already heard, but if you get a chance, do check it out. I know it's on some streaming services. I'm not sure which ones. I think Hulu might have it. Or Netflix. No, I don't think... maybe. You might be able to find it on Peacock. But I would highly recommend it if you haven't seen it or would like to. It was only 10 episodes long, but, give it a try and see what you think. So, anyway, that is my review for NBC's Dracula, starring Jonathan... Rhys-Meyers. Fantastic show, in my opinion. Do check it out. I'll see you next time, and bye-bye.